Hello. Hey, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizano, and this is episode 315 of the world famous University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. Ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call it online marketing moves. We are coming to you live today. Today is Wednesday, June the 23rd, 2021, at the time of this recording. Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? How are you doing today? Now, everybody, today we are going to talk about content. How much content should you be producing? Now, the reason why we talk about this content marketing, because it is very important to get yourself out there, no matter what you want to do, how you want to do it. The thing that you want to do is be producing content. Content is king. And the reason why you want to produce as much content as possible is, even though it doesn't have to come out today, you will have it for the future. You will have it stored on your phone, on your computer, wherever you put your content, you will have it. It will be available. You can use it in the future. You can use it in all kinds of ways. It's just like creating content. It's sort of like ordering hash browns from the Waffle House. How do you want your hash browns? Now, ladies and gentlemen, some of you have probably never been to the Waffle House. Well, let me tell you something right now. It is the greatest restaurant in the world. Okay. And if you ever come to Georgia, listen, people, I'm going to tell you this right now. No matter what day you listen to this, when you listen to this, and how you listen to this podcast, if you ever come to Georgia and if you ever hit me up and say, hey, it's one restaurant, take me to a restaurant. The first place I'm going to take you to is to the Waffle House. Why? I don't know, because it's a tradition like any other, okay? We're going to go to the Waffle House, and then they're going to ask you, how do you want your hash browns? And you're going to say, what? And they're going to say scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, diced, all this jazz. And this is the way you should think about your content. Create content, whether it be video, whether it be audio, whether you write it, whether you don't, it doesn't matter. But you want to be creating as much content as possible. It's sort of like when my man, God bless him, rest in peace, Mr. Tupac Shakur, when they said he got shot or when he got murdered, he had like 1,000 songs or something like that. Be like Tupac, okay? Produce as much content as you can. And the reason why I say this, and we talked about this before, but some things, there's few things that bear repeating. And on this podcast, if you listen to this podcast, I have a tendency of repeating myself, but that's just natural. That's just how I am. The reason why I repeat myself is sometimes if I don't repeat it, I'll forget about it. So if I know, if I tell you once, you're not going to go back and listen to the podcast over and over unless you just love the sound of my voice, which you should, by the way, But anyway, sometimes some things bear repeating. Now, there's a couple of things that we're going to repeat on this show over and over. One of the things that I have to stress to people is no matter what you want to do, how you want to do it, when it comes to online marketing, when it comes to creating a business, when it comes to creating this whole thing, online, is creating content for yourself. And the reason why you want to do that is because A, you want to stand out, and B, you want to have something that's your own so you can package it just in case you want to become a top-notch affiliate marketer. You will still have some of your own stuff, and that's that. And you just want to make sure that you have plenty of it, because just think about this. Let's say one day you fall, trip, and hurt your leg, okay? So you're in the hospital. You have to be in the hospital for a week. And obviously you can't, really be recording anything like that, and you're stuck in the hospital. You might can, but you're not really thinking about that. You can always go back. You can always grab your phone or grab your laptop, and you can upload some old videos or videos that you haven't shared with anybody. You can upload those for your YouTube, for your your podcast, all that kind of stuff. So you always have something in the chamber. You always have something fresh. It's just like right now, if I wanted to, I could say we're gonna do a best of podcast episode, and I'm gonna play a couple of segments from past episodes that maybe you never heard of, and I could just put them up, set them up, and boom, and people will listen because they're every day we get new listeners, every day we get new audience, and there's a few episodes that I really liked that people didn't listen to that I think they should go back and listen to. And one of my favorites, I will tell you this right now, and you listen, you will have favorites. You will have things that you're like, you know what? I want somebody to listen to this. And one of my favorite episodes is I talked about relationships as far as running a business, and I told this story about when I was in the Navy and it's a whole thing, but it was great. And the podcast is like an hour long. And I was like, I don't know if anybody's going, there's a couple. I actually got somebody told me they enjoyed the podcast, but that was a long time ago. It didn't get really a lot of views. And another thing why producing content is so very important. People every day will find out who you are. Okay, this and I speak of this because it's very true. Every day, somebody will find you. They will find your content, and if you have a lot of episodes you have built up, a lot of videos, people can go and they can start binge watching you. That's the thing. That's what people do these days. People binge watch, and you can get binge watch or binge listen to, and people will find you. They will like you. They will fall in love with you, and you will have a follower, a listener, a customer, however you want to phrase it. You will have them for a long time, hopefully. And so trust me on that one. Sometimes every now and then I look, and I'm like, oh my. It's an episode. I don't know why I did an episode about YouTube, started a YouTube channel. And for some reason, lately, there has been getting more and more listens to it. I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going on with that. But hey, it's cool with me. It works, It's it goes in like weeks. Like some weeks is like one episode just takes off, and I'm like, oh, okay. And it doesn't matter. It's out there, the content's out there, and we're producing content every day, and you know get started on one and get into the habit of doing it on a daily basis. I listened to this podcast yesterday, one of my favorite podcasts. It's called How I Built This, and the reason why I listen to this is because it's about all kinds of business. It's not just online businesses. It's about I listened to this lady named Ava DuVernay. She's a director, a producer of movies. She had a great story. And then I went back and listened to this other one that I didn't listen to, and it was about Policy Genius. And both were great listen to, because it inspires you to keep going. Because the thing I liked about the Policy Genius one was the lady said, we produced a lot of content. We did a lot of content marketing in the beginning. We produced content for like a year. Nobody really read it or whatever. But it paid off for her, because eventually she said it took like a year or two, but people started finding the content and people really started flocking to the website. And I say that because, hey, listen, in the beginning, when you're doing the content, we talked about this before. We talked about this ad nauseum, but we will also talk about this ad nauseum forever. And because I can't stress this enough, because I want you to succeed. I know everybody that listens to this is not going to, become a billionaire. Like, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to become billionaires, most of us, maybe you, but definitely not me. I don't really care about all that, I just want to, start a business for myself, which, we are rolling. But I stress that you want to produce as much content as possible, because you can be found, people will find you, people will like you, and you can start creating an audience, create a following. And once you do, it's a beautiful thing. And the it's in the beginning, in the beginning it's tough. In the beginning it's hard, but if you just keep producing the content, and you will start ranking, and you will start ranking higher. The SEO will get better. Everything will get better. You will learn about SEO. You will learn about how to do headlines. You will learn about this, that. You will learn different tricks. You will learn different skills. You will learn different things, and you will get better at this. And the content will get found, and people will be like, "Oh, this guy has a lot of good things to say." And of course, we talked about this before. I'm gonna have to stop saying that because it is what it is. Yeah, we repeat ourselves sometimes on this podcast. Yeah, we have to emphasize different things, but it's for your own good. It's not like I'm just repeating, hey, go buy a dog or something like that. No, these things are important because you need these things. It's just like this Policy Genius I was listening to. They talked about they produced content, and the content, it didn't pay off the first year, didn't pay off the second year, but year 3, the lady said, "Hey, we took off," and now they're very successful, and boom, there you go. And it helps. It will help you out. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow. Might be the next day. 2 weeks from now. One person likes your video. A lot of people start watching one video. They'll go back and they'll watch other videos. It's sort of like it's like, what's your favorite TV show? Okay. You ever have a favorite TV show and you're like, I love this TV show so much. I'm just gonna go back and watch the most random episode. I do that with 3 shows. The Andy Griffith Show, Seinfeld, and Frasier. Every now and then I'm just like, let me go back and watch an old episode. And the Three Stooges. I go back, I laugh, I giggle. I'm like, hey, this is why I love this show so much, And boom, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how people will do your content. You will get discovered. You'll get found. You do the right marketing. You do the right things. You figure it out, and produce as much content as possible. Even like, let's say you're sitting somewhere, and let's say you're waiting on somebody, and they're gonna be like 20 minutes, and you're sitting there waiting, and you want to do a quick video. Do that kind of stuff and store that stuff and keep that stuff, because you never know. You can package that stuff up. You never know when you're gonna use this stuff. Because I thought about this yesterday while I was waiting. Now lately, when I've been at work, because I was gonna start shooting videos, just and keeping them, but lately I've been dog tired. So when I'm at work, I get 30 minutes. I take a nap. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it to you. I take a nap. But next week, the work around this house will not be as daunting as it has been the last 2 months. So gonna start shooting videos when I'm at work, and I probably call that maybe the back of the truck series or something like that. And eventually I'm going to make those videos into a package, and I'm going to sell those videos. And we're just going to talk about, and the theme will probably be just how it is to work a job and still do the thing that you want to do. And it's going to be sort of a motivation, but also a helpful thing, different things that I do, different things that I use to, keep the podcast going, keep the online business going, keep everything going while yet still having to go to work, and because eventually, as you well know, I'm going to be off of that. So I can use that. That will be a great thing. But I got to do the videos, and we're going to do the videos while we're at work, because it's I have time, because a lot of times I'm sitting around waiting. I have to monkey around with these people sometimes, wait 10, 15, 20 minutes, and that's a good time to shoot a video. And content doesn't have to be 2 hours. Content doesn't have to be 3 hours long. You can make videos for 5 minutes. You can make videos 10 minutes. You can make a video 20 minutes. Doesn't matter. But as long as you have something to say, then say it. Create content, make it, shoot it, store it, and store it somewhere, other than your phone. Probably, I'm suggesting, because I don't know about you, but my iPhone I have this. I don't understand, but maybe you could help me out. I'm paying 99 cents a month for some kind of storage, but then yet it'll say my my apps and my audiobooks are too much. And it says something about 64. So I guess there's a difference in the 64 and the 50. So I'm confused. I'm very confused actually. So I think the next phone I have to get something with 128 or 256, because I have 80 audiobooks and I have videos that I actually have shot in the past that I have on my phone that I don't want to get rid of. But I also have to figure out, well, you know what I need to do? I guess I need to get Dropbox, because I had Dropbox, but then it got canceled. Or I think I canceled it, but now I actually need it because I got a lot of podcasts and a lot of, different things that I need to put somewhere where I can just go and find them. But actually, I don't want to. Now, this is just me and you talking right now. You don't want to have to rely on Dropbox too much. You also want to save them in another place. So, you know, this whole content creation, you also want to make sure that you have your content in a place that you can just easily get to, besides your phone and your computer. You might want to have a backup to the backup, because you have to become paranoid, because this this content is yours. This content is priceless because it's yours. It's your ideas. It's your thoughts. So you want to make sure you have them tucked away in a nice, safe place. Okay. So also be wary of that, because my phone keeps wanting me to delete everything, but I don't want to delete all my audiobooks. I go back and listen to those sometimes. I have 80. I've listened to about 75 of them. So. But anyway, you definitely want to, and I'm not saying you have to be paranoid, but I'm just paranoid about a lot of different things. So me myself, I'm like, I don't want anything to crash, because you know how that goes. And once you get, not that I'm not Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't have 130 million followers, but once you start to get a little bit of it'll be some clown or some joker trying to hack into your stuff, you know what I mean? And it'll be super annoying. So if you got a backup to the backup, we talked about this before, have more than one merchant account when you do start charging people. Just don't rely on PayPal and Stripe. Have something at the bank, or have something that cover different banks, just in case these people try to shut you down. Don't rely on one social media. Don't rely on Facebook. Like I go to, and I'll tell you a little tip right now about the content marketing. I've gotten pretty good at this actually. Now every day I upload the podcast to the Anchor app. I do the notes and all that, and then they give you this link, and it says do you want to share this on Twitter? And I'm like, yeah. And so lately, the last month, I've been getting a lot of eyeballs to the podcast. Like one day it would be 1,000, one day it would be like 800, one day it would be 600. And a tip that I learned from some guy, so I don't know who this guy was, but I can't even remember. But he was like, when you do your hashtags or whatever, do something that's trending right at that moment, and then that way people will see it. And even if they don't go to the podcast, the more people see it, the better off you are. And eventually, what if they get into the whole online marketing, the whole online business? They'll be like, hey, I saw this guy. Boom, I saw a guy and he was doing, blah 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 blah. So, and also you don't have to pay for it. So if you go on TikTok and all this stuff, whatever's kind of trending, use one of those hashtags. Use one or use two. I try to use two, and then I just do my regular hashtags, like podcasts and audio, the day of the week, and all that kind of stuff. So that's just a little tip from me to you. But everybody, create as much content as possible, and also another good thing is you can always turn your, let's say, audio or video, you can always turn that into blog posts, so you can always upload those to different websites where you can get paid, like Medium and all that kind of stuff. So there's like I told you, treat it like the Waffle House hash browns, scattered, smothered, chunked, sliced, diced, whatever you want to do. Just be sure you're creating content because it's very important and it will help you get off the ground, And we talked about this before, but it doesn't matter about if you think I never done this before, I'm done, blah 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 blah. You have a story. You have a story to tell. And it's your story. You are a unique individual. So, you will come from a different perspective. You can like I told you, the wheel's been invented. It's just how you want the wheel to look. What kind of spokes you want on your wheel, what kind of rim you want on your tire, you know what I mean? So it's you might be a commercial fisherman, so you're gonna have a different story than me. And maybe you live at home with your parents, so you're gonna have a different story. You can say, my parents been nagging me, blah blah blah. This is my motivation, this, that, and the other. There's a lot of different avenues you can go. So you don't have to really try to be anybody else. Just be yourself, create the content, and for the most part, it'll work out for you. I mean, you have to. The main thing I say is if you quit, then you just kind of, it's not gonna work out. But if you quit, then you really didn't want it in the first place. So, whether it be 1 week, whether it be 1 year, whether it be 10 years from now, keep going, keep striving. I mean, quitting is the only thing that will stop you. You know what I mean? So that's that. But ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this episode. That's it for today's podcast. We will be back tomorrow with an all new episode. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, if you haven't told a friend, tell a friend about the greatest podcast and 1, 2, 3 galaxies, then shamed on you. Then what kind of friend are you? You're not a friend of mine. If you haven't told anybody, go out today, tell somebody, share it with somebody, tell the world, tell a neighbor, tell a friend, tell somebody about the podcast. And also go to the YouTube. Listen, people, I know I keep saying this, but we're going to start producing some real videos. This weekend, my wife has her baby shower, so I've gotten and plus the whole house is all tidied up now. So next week we're gonna start getting back into it, shooting videos. So join us on the YouTube. Keep subscribing to the podcast. Keep listening, and we will be back tomorrow with the all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizzano. Take care of yourself, and we will see you later. And as always, everybody, peace.